Joining me now is Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin of Oklahoma. Senator Mullin, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Kristen, thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much for being here on a marathon weekend for you on the Hill. I know you're one of the key negotiators in all of this. As I just noted, 2 Republicans have already come out and said they are going to vote no on the bill. We anticipate the final vote will be coming soon. How confident are you that the bill will pass, Senator?
We're very confident. Listen, Kristen, the hardest part was getting on the bill. What we mean by getting on the bill is once we pass the House version, which is what we passed last night, then we put our amendments on it and we go into debate. Although right now there's a stall tactic, obviously, by the Democrats. They're making them read page by page, which I think is great. I hope the American people pay attention to it. I hope the Democrats pay attention to it, because it's going to be very hard for them to argue about what this actually does. This cuts spending. It's the largest deficit cut by any Congress ever in history. It makes tax cuts permanent, which instead of taxes going up January 1st by $4 trillion, it actually restores the tax cuts. And it's going to, the average household of 4 is going to bring home pay over $10,000 more a year this year than they did last year. So that is great. I hope the Democrats pay attention to it and realize we're delivering for the American people. But once that happens, we go into a 20-hour debate. Then we're going to do the vote-a-rama, and we're going to pass this bill. And we're very confident we have the votes to do that.
Senator, I hear what you're saying. The CBO actually says that middle-income households would only see an overall increase between $500 to $1,000, not that full $10,000 you cited. Let me delve into some of the broader opposition, though, that we're seeing. In the most recent polling in the bill, 59% of voters say they oppose it. And Elon Musk posted yesterday that the bill is, quote, political suicide for the Republican Party. Do you think this legislation could cost Republicans in the midterms, Senator?
No, well, let's unpack some of the stuff you said. What the CBO was talking about was actual bring home pay. When you start talking about the child deduction or the child deduction that we actually doubled, when you start talking about the taxes that they are going to see the increase, plus you start looking at the increase in wage bring home, that's where we get the 10,000. CBO, what you're talking about specifically is just the extension of the tax cuts. So there's a lot of other factors to play in there. As far as Elon Musk goes, listen, I respect Elon. I think he's right for his opinion, but he just doesn't know. And so I have to disregard that. What we're doing is delivering for the American people, and they know that. So if you look at any polling in the red states, especially where President Trump won, which he won the red states overwhelmingly, President Trump is popular, and the bill is extremely popular. Other polls can be, as you know, can be decided by what demographic you want to poll. And I imagine if they were to go poll blue states, well, the bill probably wouldn't be popular there.
Senator, I hear what you're saying about Elon Musk. Back in February on this program, you called Elon Musk, quote, the best entrepreneur we've ever had in our lifetime.
And I mean that.
Okay, so why would you dismiss his perspective, Senator?
Well, I used to be in business full time. Is what I did. I was never in politics. I thought I understood politics until I got in it. When I got into it, I realized, whoa. First thing I had to do is learn how to take a big, deep breath and realize I have to accept other people's opinion. That's what negotiating is. And then when you finally marry the two and you think, well, politics, I guess, kind of does work like business, because you have to negotiate business deals. You have to negotiate different personalities, though, here in the Hill. And so you may not ever get a perfect bill, but you get a good bill. And this is definitely moving us in the right direction, because when we vote on this, probably sometime tomorrow, every Republican and every Democrat is going to have 2 choices for the American people. We either, one, move forward as a yes vote and move forward into President Trump's era and his policies, bringing back the economy, securing our border, making us safer home and abroad, and making sure we have energy independence, and bringing down deficits and making sure tax cuts are permanent. Or B, we go back to the Biden era policies, which was wrecking our economy. We had an unsecure border. We wasn't appreciated or even respected around the world, and our economy was in the tank. So you have a yes vote or a no vote. Stay where we're at or move forward. And I think the American people made it very clear in November they want to move forward.
Let's talk about what has been one of the biggest sticking points, the issue of Medicaid. Senator Thom Tillis of North Carolina, as we mentioned, says he's voting against the bill because he believes it includes funding cuts that will force his state to decide whose coverage to eliminate and what critical services to cut. Senator, as you know, President Trump promised no Medicaid cuts. Is the big, beautiful bill a broken promise?
Absolutely not. What we're doing is cutting the waste, fraud, and abuse, and I want to use that word abuse, out of the Medicaid system and make sure it's for the people that it was originally intended for. Keep in mind, right now, there's 35 million people that live under the poverty line inside the United States. Yet there's 70 million that's on Medicaid. Yeah. Now, it's unsustainable. Medicaid was designed for those in the most dire need, and that's what we need to make sure it's there for. Now, what people are upset about, especially in states, is ever since Obamacare, there's been this loophole that allows the states to actually charge providers an exorbitant amount to pay their share. And so instead of the states paying their share, they're charging the providers, which one requires the United States taxpayers and other states to offset these high provider taxes inside different states. North Carolina has a high provider tax. Yeah. What we're saying is it needs to be even. Every state should be the same, and so we're gradually bringing down what states provide and making it even across the board. And so there's an even playing field. So one state like Oklahoma isn't offsetting high provider taxes in North Carolina or California.
But, Senator, 7.8 million people are expected to lose Medicaid coverage, and you cited the 35 million figure there. Are you suggesting that 35 million people covered by Medicaid are all involved in waste, fraud, and abuse?
No. What I'm saying is how do you explain that we only have 35, I don't want to use that as a derogatory term, but I just want to use the numbers here. There's 35 million people under the poverty line inside the United States, and there's 70 million people that are signed up for Medicaid. Where you're going to tell me that there's not room to cut fraud, waste, and abuse in the program? People that are today eligible for it underneath current programs are still going to be eligible for it tomorrow, too. We're just getting out the ones that should never be there. I mean, what is so hard about requiring an able-bodied individual with no dependents, no sickness, to work 20 hours a week? I know you work more than 20 hours this weekend alone. What is so hard about having a work requirement there with someone that has no medical condition and no dependents? We don't pay people in this country to be lazy. Yeah. We want to give them an opportunity, and when they're going through a hard time, we want to give them a helping hand. That's what Medicaid was designed for, and unfortunately it's been abused. And so what we are focused on is making sure that Medicaid is there for people in the future that need it and get rid of the fraud, waste, and abuse.
So it's just worth noting 92% of people on Medicaid are either working or would qualify for an exemption. I do want to move on to this landmark Supreme Court decision, though, that basically said that district-level judges cannot grant nationwide injunctions against executive actions, basically meaning that President Trump's order blocking trying to end birthright citizenship could soon take effect in various parts of the country. Now, it's really unclear what that would mean for the children of undocumented immigrants, new babies who are born here. So let me ask you, do you think babies who are born to undocumented parents should be deported, Senator?
Well, here's what we know. There's a whole industry that has stood up to bring people here in their last month of pregnancy to have a child here, and they come here on a vacation visa, and they have a child, so their child will be able to be U.S. citizens. It's a whole industry. You know it, and I know it. What we're trying to do is end those that are gaming the system.
Should
and that's
those
exactly
babies
what's
be
happening
deported,
now.
Senator, with their parents? Are you saying those babies should be deported with their parents?
They should go where their parents are. Why wouldn't you send a child with their parents? I mean, why would you want to separate them? I wouldn't want to be separated from my kid, and no parent should want to be separated from their kids. So if their parents are deported, then the child should most definitely go with the parents.
All right, let me turn to foreign policy in Iran, obviously something we've all been very focused on as well this week. One of the key unanswered questions in the wake of President Trump's attacks against Iran nuclear programs, the fate of almost 900 pounds of highly enriched uranium. Let me ask you, can Iran's nuclear program be considered, quote unquote, obliterated if its nuclear stockpile is still unaccounted for?
Absolutely it can. Now, what we did is we destroyed the infrastructure. What you can't destroy is the knowledge and some of the other small components. But there is no way President Trump, who's the first president to actually have the backbone to go in there and do this, because if you remember, every president since Clinton has been talking about Iran, how big of a danger and a threat to the world they would be if they had a nuclear weapon, and there was no way they could do it. Where every president since Clinton has talked about it. Trump's the first one to actually do it. Now, why would we leave the airspace when we controlled it completely? We could have stayed there for a month if we wanted to, if we didn't believe and have actual knowledge to know that we destroyed their infrastructure. Here's what we here's what we know too is Fordo was in Iran, the Iranian regime's mind, is that it was indestructible. And they had actually moved product into Fordo, which is why we focus so much emphasis on Fordo. And Fordo is destroyed. There's no way that they can bring their program back without rebuilding it, and that will take years for them to rebuild it. But like I said, we can't knock out all the knowledge, but we did knock out a lot of the people with the knowledge.
All right. And of course, President Trump saying he is leaving the door open to potentially more strikes if he gets any indication they are rebuilding their nuclear program.
Right.
Senator Mullin, thank you so much for joining us on an incredibly busy Sunday. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.